Our main story today is this report in the Times, which is that 9-year-olds are among thousands of kids who have been investigated for hate incidents. This is as a result of what you might call a little bit of playground chatter. Calling someone a retard. OK, not politically correct, but does it really mean that the thought police or actual bobbies in blue themselves should go and pull a kid in? I mean, it's absolutely mad. 2 secondary school girls who said another people smelt like fish. I mean, these have been investigated, apparently, as non-crime hate incidents. That's according to Freedom of Information requests to police forces. Now, in August, Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, was reported to be considering reversing changes made by Conservatives last year designed to protect free speech that downgraded the duty of police to monitor these incidents. So essentially, she kind of wants the police to be policing non-crime hate incidents where it is, and in her words, proportionate and necessary. I don't think any of it is proportionate, and I certainly don't think any of it is necessary. Let's speak now to Harry Miller, who's former police officer and founder of Fair Cop. Harry, I don't think that police want to be investigating these things, really, do they?
Well, a lot of police officers don't. All the normal rank and file who join the job because they want to collar criminals, they don't want to do that. But unfortunately, we have a definite contingent within policing that do want to do this. They're very happy doing this because it's easy and it's lazy. And it's not about preventing crime. It's about socially conditioning people to a very woke ideology. That is the only reason that you would go into a school in order to socially condition a child. And in fact, criminalise a child for doing what? For saying that somebody smells of fish, calling somebody a retard. Listen, this isn't nice, but I tell you what, it's the responsibility of the teacher, it's the responsibility of the parent, possibly even the head teacher, but it is nothing whatsoever to do with the police. This is an intrusion into civil liberties, and it's an intrusion into childhood. And it's all well and good, Yvette Cooper saying that she wants to reverse a Conservative Party policy, but the Conservative Party policy was based on a High Court and a Court of Appeal ruling. And it's not within the Home Secretary's gift to simply announce that she's reversing law that is established in European law that's been upheld by the Court of Appeal. And Yvette Cooper, unfortunately, has caused a right problem here. Her and Keir Starmer with his Starmer Stasi, as we have them now, because they have politicised the police. We saw it following the incident in Southport this summer, and we're seeing it now. We do not have in this country a Stasi, a Cheka or a Gestapo. But unfortunately, that is the way that we are heading. And let me tell you this, Alex, it is no fun whatsoever having a police officer knock on your door on Remembrance Sunday or call you at work and suggest that you have done something wrong. Either you've done something criminally wrong or that you've done something that constitutes a non-crime hate incident. For most people, this chills the blood and it freezes the blood brain. And what it does, it has a chilling effect, and it turns you into a gibbering, compliant idiot in most cases. Now, thankfully, there are a number of us, Alison Pearson being one, Maya Forstater being another, myself, and the great work at the Free Speech Union, who are pushing back. But unfortunately, most people have a huge amount of respect for the police. And when the police come knocking, they just assume that they've done something wrong. And they simply take the advice of the police to shut up and not do it again. And by that means, we get a form of social compliance, which is more akin to Mao's China or Stalin's Russia than it is to Free Britain.
Oh, it's textbook Maoism. You are indeed right. Do you know, I was speaking to my old partner in crime, Kevin O'Sullivan, yesterday, who had a thing on his show about what went on in Hare Hills, the riots there. And apparently, in a particular police report, a woman who was arrested for racially aggravated behaviour or something or the other, in it describes as the riots in Hare Hills as a Roma vigil. That's mad.
Yeah, you know, it is absolutely, because this is what they do. When it suits them politically, they will downplay an incident and call it everything under the sun other than a crime. But if you are socially orthodox, if you are conservative, and you say something that the liberal establishment do not like, then they will be very quick to criminalise you or to de facto criminalise you, which is the purpose of a non-crime hate incident. And what really worries me is that Keir Starmer, at his heart of hearts, is a prosecutor. He sees everything in terms of those who are innocent and those who are guilty. And as a prosecutor, it is his job to show that those that he is prosecuting don't have any excuse whatsoever. There are no mitigating circumstances whatsoever. That was his job. And I think that's great if you're a prosecutor, and it's great if you're head of the CPS, but it's not a good look if you're the Prime Minister and part of your remit and job is to reach out to those with whom you naturally disagree. You cannot simply use the hard tool of criminalising people because you don't agree with them politically. And that, unfortunately, is what Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper are doing. And we have far too many chief constables who are quite happily behaving as Starmer's Stasi.
Like, what sort of flexibility is there amongst, if we have decent chief constables, to say we're not investigating this stuff anymore? Is it the case that if someone phones up the cops and say, oh, someone sent a nasty, hurty tweet and I'm upset and I feel victimised and I think it's a hate crime, will you go investigate it? The police have to. Are they compelled to? Or could higher up say, we're just not doing it?
No, they're not compelled to do it at all. What they have to do is look if there is any objective evidence. If there is objective evidence, it doesn't have to be certain, but if there is objective evidence that there may have been a crime committed here, then of course they have to investigate. But very often what police are doing is going on somebody's perception, that they are going on the fact that somebody feels offended, and they are operating as though being offensive is an offence. Being offensive in this country is not an offence. In fact, the High Court judge in my ruling said that a freedom that does not include the right to offend is not a freedom worth having. And I say amen to that, because it's absolutely true. Being offended is part and parcel of adult grown-up life, and we lose that at our peril.
No, I agree. Once it's gone, it's really hard to rebuild. I find it astonishing, actually, that the police could decide not to go after these things. I mean, they certainly decided not to bother investigating when I was mugged twice, decided that was only worth a crime reference number, despite being sort of punched and had my phone snatched. No, here you go for insurance purposes. Here's some digits to put into their machine. Utterly ridiculous. I mean, how many people in the police force do you think are fed up with this? Do you think there's a way in which policemen and women themselves can just say, we're going to push back against this?
Yeah, there absolutely are. I mean, I heard from a very good source, a serving police officer the other day, that in the police common room, you know, where police officers gather and, you know, etc., there is now a purge on mugs. If you've got a mug in the office that is slightly risque, that's funny, that's humorous, one of those sort of things, you are now being investigated by the police for having a non-compliant mug.
What?
That is absolutely, yes.
The police are policing themselves over politically incorrect mugs.
Yes, that is exactly what is happening right now. And the vast majority of police officers are utterly fed up and sick of it. They did not sign up for this at all. We do not have a political police force in this country, or well, we do, but we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have. Humour, banter, canteen culture. Now, we know that at times it can go too far. But my goodness, the police are the public and the public are the police. That is the Pelian principle. And what we don't want is a mechanised, robotic police force. We want police officers who get together, who have a bit of a laugh, who give each other daft mugs and all the rest of it, because they're like us. They are like the population.
They interact with people. They need to have emotional intelligence, not have that stuff completely battered out of them to become like little automatons of Starmer's state. Mugs! Mugs! I can't get over that. Harry Miller, thank you ever so much. Former police officer, founder of Fair Cop.